Evening, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch on Wednesday, October 4th, 2023 on our planet. Hope you're well. What was that? Hello? What's my shirt? It's an Indonesian batik shirt. My wife just brought it back home from her home country visit, Indonesia. So I thought maybe the next little while I'll wear a different batik. Right, mix it up a little bit. Let's mix up this video talk. Let's talk about the possession of our souls and who people are and who people are not. Who they're influenced by. Me? He that is in me tells me what to do. This is why I do what I do. I feel. He tells me to try and live a more independent lifestyle, free from the system. That's why I like growing my own food, for example. Preparing for the hardships of the next winter coming up, etc. But beyond, he is the almighty influence over you. The influence. Who else do you listen to, or should not? Are you guided by discernment, intelligence, critical thinking, wisdom if you're old enough? Does your perception of who people are, is it clear? Can you see past the smoke screen? Can you see through those who will lead you astray through their deception and denial of what is and what is yet to come? Can you see the ones who steal your money through their fraud and lies and cons, and then get drunk on a stupor of vodka, and in their stupidity admit that they are a master of the Freemason Society? Claiming to have something observatory that they do not. Do you follow the fear porn videos depicting entire continents being washed over by the oceans? Something that he said he would never ever do again, but yes, he said he would do it by fire and brimstone and blood and smoke from the earth below. All these things leading up to those events, no one else is bringing to your attention on a daily basis, no. Either one, they're incompetent and stupid, or two, they're paid what's that word? Paid spooks by the government. Yes, there's going to be some coastal inundation of the oceans because of the gravitational effect of a large celestial body coming in and the Earth's wobble. Yes, these things are going to happen, but when I continue to see these videos being put out of entire oceans washing over entire continents, that is fear porn, that is deception. And if all you are listening to, and I've said this lots of times before, if all you're listening to and thinking of is an event that happened in the late 2030s or the 2040s, and you're thinking you're all safe and cozy, until then you and your family are going to be dead long before, because you're not recognizing the earth pains, the contractions of our planet. She's just started. You're not preparing yourself and your families for these events. You're listening to the wrong playlist. He has the ultimate in truth in his playlists. It's all out there. Matthew chapter 24, Luke chapter 21, Mark 13, and all the rest of his buddies. And who people are and who people aren't. Anybody who wears the cross to which Jesus Christ died upon, at the same time while calling his fellow man pussies and his fellow men and women, making reference to a woman being bitch slapped. And anybody who wears the cross does this. Is not who he portrays himself to be. No good Christian does that. Displaying a symbol alone does not show you to be a good person. How you treat people does. And you cannot erase nor hide these things. I digress. Let's talk about the past seismic events of the past 24 hours. Starting off with the most concerning, the Izu Island regions, Marianas, south of Japan. Now, here and there and everywhere we have earthquake swarms and nothing happens. But this one is an ongoing swarm in its intensity and increasing magnitude up to 6.1. Let me tell you something that no one else has brought to your attention. 2 Japanese scientists did a study of the 1991 Mount Pinatubo eruption volcano. Preceding that eruption was a typhoon. When you have a typhoon coming in, it drops the barometric pressure. The barometric pressure acts as a form of umbrella from inbound cosmic rays, deflecting those highly charged particles. However, when a typhoon comes in, that umbrella collapses, no longer affording that area that additional protection. Typhoon rolled in just before the 1991 Pinatubo eruption. A typhoon just finished passing over the Marianas and is heading into Taiwan. Let me explain. Cosmic rays can penetrate the Earth's crust and cause what's called bubble nucleation of silicon-rich magma. Try and envision this. Put a pot of thick Canadian pea soup on the stove. Slowly increase the heat such as the cosmic rays due to the magma increases the heat and therefore pressure and rise of the magma. That soup is going to heat up and it's going to bubble up and rise up the pot and spill over. Just like the pressure coming up through the mantle plumes to the underside of the lithosphere. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Once again, that typhoon just crossed over that area where they have all those earthquake swarms. It could be another 8 to 72 hours yet with intense seismic activity. I do not make catastrophic earthquake forecasts. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be ignored. As well as the Taiwan region and northern Philippines. Let's continue with the past 24 hours. Earlier today, Philippines, a 6.8 earthquake after a 6.1, after a 6.2, after a 6.4. Offshore Sumatra, Indonesia, 5.7. Entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar, a 5.7 deleted. Yesterday, same region, northern Spain, 5.7. Downgraded to a 3.2. 5.7 at 1 kilometer depth, downgraded to a 3.2 at 2 kilometers depth. The earthquake swarm in Nepal. Earlier today, a 5.4 and a 5.1 earthquake in Iceland. 5.4 deleted. And then finally, recently, another magnitude 4 Campli-Flagra. I understand now that the officials are revamping contingency plans for mass evacuations, should that need arise. And that's just some of what's been happening in the past 24 hours. Who knows what happened when I was asleep, right? Earthquakes. The birthing pains, the contractions of our planet. All these things that these people are not all bringing together and telling you and showing you on a daily basis. Why? Maybe it's incompetence, one, because all he wants to do is steal money through your donations. And maybe someone else is just a paid spook. Oh, la-di-da. Finally, there's a lot of things which has to happen if you're a believer in Revelation. We have to go through these earthquakes in diverse places. I'm talking about catastrophic earthquakes day after day after day. We had to have many volcanic eruptions and destructive weather events and the events from the heavens above. And there's been a lot of prophetic talk from bishops starting this month. And as I've said earlier on today, our planet is littered and scarred with a great many asteroid impacts. So consider the existing asteroids' orbits being perturbed by an outside gravitational influence, a large one. Consider that system smashing through the asteroid belt. That's their prophetic warning for starting for October 2023. We shall see. Who are you going to follow? Who are you going to listen to? Who are you going to look for the signs? Please pay attention and maybe say a prayer for the people of Japan, Taiwan, and northern Philippines. It's my suggestion. I can't remember Mr. Mike's warning, Mike of COT, in one of his videos, some area, I believe, to the east of the current earthquake swarm, a large volcanic eruption to happen at some point in the future. It's about I wasn't sure if I was going to be saying this. I've been contemplating on it the last week. Since we're talking about a spiritual battle, several months ago I had a dream. most terrifying dream I've ever had. I woke up in a cold sweat. A very, very powerful influence came to me in my dream. Very strong, yet in his image unseen. It was only his presence. Yeah, I knew who he was. It was the devil. The devil will be penetrating every single person or trying to into his and her family marriage. You know what my answer is? And the only exception I will use this. You know what I say to him? Not to me and my family, you won't, asshole. Now I'll tell you about the other dream I had about 2 weeks ago. I and everybody else around me were waiting. We were awaiting to be told our destination and our fate. To be told by some entity, I took it to be our angels. And when it came time for my name to be announced, one word and one word only was said. Heaven. And towards the end of my dream, I found myself up in the clouds, walking along some stone balcony with a large cornice. A cornice is a structural detail on the top of a building. And it extended 3 feet out from me as I'm walking up in the clouds. Then my dream ended. Yet I feel that the struggles are not going to be eliminated. So we should continue to prepare ourselves, first and foremost, obviously, for the spiritual battle to protect ourselves, our families, our marriages, and recognize his influence is all powerful, but our will must be stronger than his. And so we can tell him to and all the rest of them, don't let them lead you astray. Because they are not of the faith. In my personal observational opinion, when you treat people like that. Anyway, 18.5 minutes. I think you've listened to me long enough. Please have your thoughts and maybe some prayers for the people of Japan, Taiwan, and Philippines.